All right, guys, so today we got to talk about a woke school board once again. Yes, I know they're all over the place, okay? But the madness never, ever, ever stops because this push for so-called equity, right, has basically taken over the Democrat Party, right? It really has, okay? And equity, in so many cases, right, has got in the way of common sense, right? And has actually made it so progressives are the ones that are regressing us back to Jim Crow. And that's exactly what this story is about today, as a woke school district is having racially segregated meetings to pick a superintendent in order to promote equity and inclusion. Yes, I know it sounds ridiculous because it is. So we're gonna talk about that. But before I get in that, I just want to let you guys know that if you like my channel and you want to support my channel, my commentary, you can do so using the links in the description below. You support the Patreon, you support the PayPal, you support the merch. There are multiple ways to support the channel if you would like to do so, including getting yourselves one of these signature racist mugs that reminds you on a day-to-day basis what the 2022 definition of racist is, which is basically anybody who disagrees with the Democrat Party. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. As a school district is hosting racially segregated meetings to pick a superintendent and to promote equity. One Washington school district is looking for a new superintendent, and they're inviting parents and guardians to weigh in. But their meetings are intended to segregate participants by race. Osceola School District Superintendent Ron Thiel is retiring, and the school board is looking for his replacement. The board is holding 3 separate meetings this month to hear from parents and guardians, but the first meeting makes it very clear who should attend. The district bulletin lists the meeting in the following ways: quote, meeting for parents/guardians of color and parents/guardians with students of color to give input about superintendent search, 6 p.m. Zoom. Okay, so does this not sound like colored, right? This is a meeting for colored folks, right? What's the difference between the term people of color and colored people, right? Y'all remember the water fountains back in the day doing Jim Crow? I mean, I wasn't alive, right? Some of you might have been alive doing that, but I'm just saying, we've all seen it. Color and white, right? The term colored has basically become people of color, and these people don't understand or realize exactly what that means and the connotation behind it. But they claim to be progressive race crusaders. The other 2 meetings are listed this way: meetings for parents/guardians to give input about the superintendent search, 9 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. on Zoom. All right, so obviously parents backlashed against this, right? They wasn't having it, okay? And this came up at a school board meeting, and this is what the school board had to say about having segregated meetings. Take a look.
I do want to say a few words. I'm sorry for anybody who feels that that was an indication of segregation. It was really an intent from the board to be able to hear from our historically marginalized families. We wanted to be able to have an environment where they could share freely and honestly and feel vulnerable. And so we have heard from those families before, and we understand that sometimes the environment isn't comfortable. So having them surrounded by other people similar to them makes it easier. So our intent was to create more welcoming an environment and to be more inclusive versus to exclude anyone. We did change our language on the wording. We listened to some people that have given us feedback. All of the meetings are open to any families to attend. And we invite you to either attend one or more of the focus group meetings or fill out the survey. But our intent is to be expansive and inclusive. So.
All right, guys, so I want you to understand that, right? This person's saying we're segregating our school board meetings by race and skin color, even though it's not really segregated, but we're segregating them by race and skin color, right? We have one for the coloreds and one for the whites, okay? And the intent is to be inclusive, right? We're segregating the school board meetings in order to be inclusive. That's progressive liberal logic. That is woke logic. This is why woke ideology makes absolutely no sense. It is simply counterproductive, right? These people are steering us back to Jim Crow, right? In the name of wokeness, okay? Because at the end of the day, right, when you say that the meetings is for parents slash guardians of color and parents slash guardians with students of color to give input about a superintendent search, what you're saying is that whites need not come, right? That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. You're saying we want to have this school board meeting so that we only hear from people who are not white, right? We want to just hear from those people. And then everybody else, the whites, y'all can come to the second meeting, okay? And everybody else can come to that too. They didn't say white only, to their credit, right? But that's what they're saying. But the implication could be, since you have two meetings, one designated specifically for colored people and one that's, supposed to be open in general, the interpretation could be, well, maybe that second meeting is not for us colored folks, right? Maybe I shouldn't show up to that one. Maybe the meeting that is for me is the one that's designated for colored people, right? As if so-called colored people can't speak up and give their opinions at a regular board meeting. Like, do parents of children, do parents of so-called non-white people have different needs than parents of white kids, right? Are they any different? Are they not going to the same school? Are they not getting the same education? Is the superintendent not responsible for all of the kids, right? So all the parents, right, should better speak up at one school board meeting and they all can be heard. Because at the end of the day, whether or not somebody's voice is heard is based off their ability to speak up. If so-called parents of color don't want to speak up, then they're not going to be heard, period. Right? Doesn't matter if they go to a colored school board meeting or a, non-colored school board meeting. Doesn't matter. The parents that want to be heard are the ones that are going to speak up. Right? And again, this is what bothers me about these people that say, white people, they just need to shut up and let colored folks talk. Let everybody else speak up, right? White people got to shut up. And I'm like, if somebody wants to speak up, then they speak up. It doesn't matter about somebody else's voice and their ability to speak. You don't need to shut down anybody else's ability to speak for other people to speak up, because people who want to speak up and be heard, they speak up and be heard. I've seen plenty of parents that are not white that have spoken up and have been heard at these school board meetings, okay? In fact, those are the parents that tend to go viral, right? Those are the parents that tend to get the most attention, the ones that are not white, that are speaking up, okay? So don't sit here and try to act like you have to silence somebody else's voice for other voices to be heard. When no. The voices that actually want to be heard will be heard regardless of their race or their skin color. Again, this is just another example of the hard bigotry of low expectations for so-called non-white folks. Oh, we got to silence white people for y'all to speak up because y'all don't know how to speak. You don't know how to stand up for yourself. We have to have a whole school board meeting for you guys to express how you feel about, a superintendent. Because, when y'all around whites, y'all get drowned out because y'all don't know how to speak up, right? Again, it's sad, man. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You're doing a disservice to anybody that's not white when you have to coddle people over their skin color. Everybody that's not white has to be coddled. They have to be given special privileges because they can't do nothing for themselves. They can't even speak up at a school board for themselves. It's absolutely insane. And these people claim that, I'm doing it out of inclusion, right? I'm trying to be more inclusive. No. You're simply just dividing people. That's what you're doing. You're dividing people. You are the people that are doing the things that I would argue that the KKK would want, right? Because if I was a white supremacist, I'd be like, yeah. Let's have all the colored folks have their own school board meeting, right? That way we can have the concerns of all the whites be in one room, right? So that everybody knows these are the concerns of white folks, right? That's what I would want. If I was a white supremacist, I would want segregation. I want exactly what's happening right now. But ain't it funny how people on the right and conservatives are framed as the so-called white supremacists when they're the ones that every time you look, they're speaking out against segregation. They want a colorblind society. They say, no, I want my child to treat everybody else equally regardless of their skin color. But apparently colorblindness is racist, right? Ain't it amazing how that works? Michelle Tafoya literally went on a view and was like, no, I'm actually upset that my child, who is white, is being segregated from his non-white friends. I like the fact that my child has non-white friends. I'm cool with that, right? Again, it's amazing what is happening in 2022. It really is. It really is. As you know, again, these progressives, they claim to be the race crusaders, right? That are fighting against racism and for racial equality. When it seems to me that every time you look, they're trying to regress us back to segregation and Jim Crow. They're trying to regress us back to what the KKK and the white supremacists want, right? And the conservatives seem to be the ones that's fighting against what the white supremacists want, right? That's what it seems like to me. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? I'm just some dude on the internet. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.